HighCharts in WordPress using wpDataTables. In this short video, I'm not going to show you the whole process of creation of each HighCharts chart type. We have a separate tutorial on using the chart creation wizard, and the process is the same for any chart types. I will just show you the output of different chart types with some comments. So basically there are 13 HighCharts chart types currently supported. Maybe later we will add more, but I think we have a majority already covered. First one is HighCharts line chart. So each series is rendered as a line, and that's it. So it can support one string date or date, one string column or date column, which will be used for horizontal axis. It's string column in this case. It needs to have at least two columns, because one will be used for horizontal axis and another one for series. And all other columns except for single one should have numerical values. So that's how it looks. Every series is a simple line. Next one is a simple area. We used the same data source everywhere, so you could see how the same numbers are rendered in different charts. So here it's basically absolutely the same as the previous one, but everything below a single series will be colored in the color that you have chosen while you created the chart, or that was chosen by HighCharts by default. You can trigger, enable and disable some of the series, and the chart will get re-rendered. And there are same limitations. So one string or date column supported, other columns should have numerical values, and there should be at least two columns. Next one is stacked area chart, which is basically the same, but the values of the series will be stacked on top of each other. So you see they are not like covering each other, but built on top of each other. And if, for example, we switch off bananas, these get lower, and when we switch oranges, this gets lower. And the rest is the same. So it's just a line, and everything below this line, and I say between this line and the previous one, gets colored in the color that you chosen, or that's automatically generated by HighCharts. And there's the same limitations. One string or date column supported, other columns should have numerical values, and a minimum of two columns required. Next one is the basic bar chart. So the data in this one will be rendered, series data will be rendered in horizontal bars. And these bars will be colored as you choose, in the colors of your choice, or again, if you don't provide any colors, there is a default palette used by HighCharts that will be applied. And the limitations here are the same. So one string or date column supported, other columns will have numerical values, and a minimum of two columns required. Next one is stacked bar chart. So similar as with simple area and stacked area, it's very similar to bar chart, but the bars won't be rendered near each other, but it will be stacked on top, and in this case on the right of each other. So if we switch off bananas, this will slide, and that's how it works. And the same limitations as for previous charts. I will not repeat them a fifth time. The HighCharts basic column chart is similar to the bar chart, but in the bar chart you get horizontal bars, and in column chart you get vertical columns. So this is how it works, and the same limitations, one string or date column, etc. Next one is of course stacked column chart. Again, it's very similar to stacked bar chart, just that it's vertical columns instead of horizontal bars. And again, if we switch off bananas, this gets rebuilt, they're sliding. Next one is a different thing, so we use different data set here. This is a HighCharts pie chart. So basically it's very useful when you need, for example, to show the shares, how the shares are spread or how the market is spread between, let's say, different mobile devices or between browsers, etc. Like, I don't know, Chrome has this percentage of the market and Internet Explorer has this percentage, etc. So it's rendering this typical sliced pie where it shows how many percent each series has. So we here rendered a small chart called Who Ate All the Pie, and it shows how many percents of the pie each of the persons ate. Here the limitations are a little bit different. One string or date column supported, which will be used to name the slices. Other columns, actually the second column should have numerical value, and strictly 2 columns required. So not 1, not 3, strictly 2. Next one is basically same, and it's the only difference that it has a gradient applied, which might look fancy on some of the websites. Basically rendering is the same, so you see it's absolutely the same, just with nice gradient applied. So the limitations for the data source are the same. Next variation is the donut chart, and again it's the same pie chart but without the central part, so it looks not like a circle, not like a pie, but more like a donut. That's why it's called this way. And the limitations are the same as for pie chart. Again, another variation is 3D pie chart. So if you see that has a third dimension, and you can build it the same way, you can need to provide at least strictly 2 columns. One can be string or date, another one can be only numerical. Also 3D donut chart. So just to show you how it looks, we'll not repeat everything again. So absolutely same rules applied, but it just has this nice 3D outlook, some 3D effects. And also there is a 3D options, a 3D version of the column chart. So it works absolutely the same as usual column chart, but has this 3D effect applied, which is nice to my mind. And the last one is the scatter plot. It's maybe the most mathematical. So as Wikipedia says, it is a type of mathematical diagram using Cartesian coordinates to display values for 2 variables for a set of data. So we used the same data set here, so it doesn't look very representative, but if it would be some mathematical function with a lot of values, it would maybe show the spread, and you could see where, for example, here are the most dots, so you could judge about this function or about this set of numbers. So this might be useful for mathematical diagramming. And for the limitations, they are similar. Only 1 string or date column supported, but I guess for this type of charts it's better to use only numeric columns. Other columns should have numerical values, and there is minimum of 2 columns required. So that's it regarding different HighCharts supported by wpDataTables to be rendered in WordPress. I hope it was useful. Thank you for watching, and see you in next tutorials.
wpDataTables, the easiest way to render interactive editable tables on your WordPress site. Purchase wpDataTables exclusively on Code Canyon.